Hello, I'm Fred Rowe from Sierra Bright Dot Fly Fishing Guide Service. I've been teaching, guiding, writing, and lecturing on fly fishing since 1982. Well, let's get to this week's fly fishing report. Well, summer's here. We're starting to head into what we call the summer doldrums. What does that mean? Well, that means it just gets too hot, kind of late in the afternoon, middle of the day. So best fishing, kind of early in the morning, late in the evening. Well, let's talk about Bishop Creek Canal because it fits that scenario perfectly. Middle of the day, it's not that I can't catch fish, it's just too damn hot for me to be out there fishing. So what do? Get up early, hard for me to do, get out, fish early. Or what I prefer to do is fish late. Especially if I'm gonna fish late, make sure you're covered up and or have lots of mosquito repellent because they're thick as it gets dark. But the caddis come out at that time. What are the caddis doing? They're laying their eggs. It's called oviposting. Well, trout know that. They know they're a great meal, so they come up and feed on them. Well, haven't done this in a long time because I retired, but when I was working, run to Taco Bell, grab a burrito, grab an iced tea, sit in the sun, wait for the sun to go behind the mountains, eat my burrito, drink my iced tea, have a rod rigged with a elk hair caddis, usually a size 16, peacock body. As soon as the sun went down, grab the rod, cast upstream, let it float down, strip it back upstream. It's called skittering a caddis. Trout would whack it. As the evening got darker and darker, the oviposting caddis hatch would get thicker and thicker, and the fishing would be great. Okay, let's head up the hill. Oh, P.S. Laura Owen's still out. We're not fishing. Okay, let's head up the hill. Okay, let's talk about Hot Creek. Well, in the canyon section, weed beds, they're doing what they do every year at this time. They're big, they're growing. You add sun, you add water, you add nutrients, the plants grow. Well, what does that mean for fly fishing? We got to hit the tiny little channels in between the weed beds. And if you can drift your nymph or a dry fly in there, you're going to get fish because that's where the fish are lying waiting for the food. And the weed beds are protecting them for predators like osprey and people and other things that are going to grab them. All right, so what do we fish in there? Little yellow stoneflies late in the afternoon, like around 1 or 2. Look for them to hatch, maybe even into the evening. But the bulk of what we're looking for, small mayflies in the morning, could be tricos, could be blue wings. I haven't been able to identify them yet. And then it's definitely the PMDs. What's a PMD? Pale morning dot. It's a grayish, yellowish, olive colored mayfly, and the trout go nuts on them. It's the biggest hatching mayfly on Hot Creek. It's in a size 16. So on the surface, I'm using size 16 PMD parachute patterns. We're also using size 16 PMD sparkle duns. Okay, and then under the water, size 16 or 18 beadhead flashback pheasant tails, olive quildagons, and then any of the PMD patterns, nymphs, and in particular, the split back works really, really well. Over to the upper Owens, well, it's fishing great. We're not seeing as many of the big fish that we were seeing. What we're getting now are 3-inch on the small side to about 12, 14-inch on the big side, rainbows and browns. 12, 14s aren't really juvenile, but I still keep calling them. We're getting into the juvenile fish, and they're hitting fly as well. Middle of the day, 1 to about 4 or 5. It's getting hot. Somewhere in the 1 to 2 o'clock range, fishing really slows down and then picks back up in the afternoon. In the afternoon, if the fish are jumping out of the water, what we call a showy, splashy rise form, they're fishing on caddis, put on an elk hair caddis, size 16 or 18, olive bodied or brown bodied. Otherwise, fish the same PMDs that we did over on Hot Creek, the PMD parachute or the PMD sparkle dun. And then for the nymphs, size 16 and 18, beadhead flashback pheasant tails, size 16, beadhead flashback girl-ribbed hare's ear. Okay, Freestone Creeks, they're still flowing high and really cold, but if you work the edges, you're going to find fish. And it's a great place to fish a dry on a dropper, use a dry fly on top and a nymph underneath. I rig with a size 16 Adam's parachute, size 16 El Carcatus, or size 16 Royal Wolf, 3 feet of fluorocarbon with a nymph. I use a size 16 beadhead flashback gold rib hares there, or I fish a size 18 pheasant tail. And what waters am I talking about? As the freestones, opportunistic fishing, things like Bishop Creek, all the forks up there, Rock Creek, Mammoth Creek, those are all great waters to fish that way. Okay, Crawley Lake. The flotilla boats, they're still in in Hilton Bay, which is a sub area of McGee Bay. But where McGee comes in is where we're starting to see the boats, and they're definitely starting to get the fish over there. And what are they doing over there? Well, they're midge nymphing like they always do in 8 to 10 feet of water and doing really well. But also what you can do over there is you can fish with a size 14 Callibatus nymph and an olive gold-ribbed hares there. Works great for that. And then damselfly nymphs work great over in that area. And what I like to use is a marabou damsel or Hal Jansen's damsel in a size 10. And then the other fly might be a tad early, but start thinking about fishing it, which is perch imitations. Those young perch, they're starting to show up, but not in great numbers in a lot of places. Give them to the end of the month, or maybe into early August, and we'll start seeing them. And I like using balanced leeches and olive matukas for those. Okay, this has been Fred Rowe from Sierra Bright Dot. I can be found on Instagram, Facebook, on my webpage at sierrabrightdot.com, or on lpptv.us.